And
wow.
Oh, I should get my phone to do the little things.
Oh,
Just talk to everybody.
Hi,
talk
everybody. Welcome. It is, what is the date? It is the 15th of January. 15th. Welcome 15th. To our, I don't know, music room, I guess. This is what it's called. Studio. And welcome back to our studio. Yeah. Welcome back to Sunsets with Dan and Cindy. Yeah, go ahead and pop on and tell us where you're watching from. We always love to see all the different cities, all the different states, all the different countries.
And welcome officially to Sunsets with... Oh, mine is not working.
Hold on. Hang on.
Let's try one more time. Sunsets with...
It's Sunsets with Dan and Cindy.
Oh!
When it works.
When it works. So it's just kind of been one of those techo days. You know, we've had a lot of wind here in Oklahoma. And it really messes with the Wi-Fi and all that. So we had to scurry here at the last minute to get on the phone because our computer was not working. So anyways, welcome to Sunsets with Dan and Cindy. Now, I know I'm Sandy. I know this is Don. But Dan and Cindy came out of a skit we did several years ago at our church. We were hosting for the choir, and he said something snarky, and I said, "What'd you say that for, Dan?" And he said, "I don't know, Cindy." And so it just was kind of born our pre-tiree.
That's it.
Sorry, I just burped.
That was good. Okay. The role of Don is being played by Cindy tonight, Dan. Our pre-tiree, we've got to thank again, I'll show you this, in 1792. We'll talk about it in a minute. But that was the buzzword for 2020, pre-tirees. Those that are slowing down, they may have left the office. Nothing in their life is really slowing down. So we know we're Don and Sandy, but it is, for sake of this show,
It's Sunsets with Dan and Cindy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. And we thank Todd and the Las Vegas Singers for doing those jingles for us. Todd grew up with Friendship Company, and now he's a successful arranger and writer, and he just sent these to us one day, and they're so cute. So anyway, we're glad to have you. And that's where Dan and Cindy was born, so you don't continually ask why Dan and Cindy. But we know full well that we are Don and Sandy.
But let us know your
pre-tiree
names. Let us know. Bob and I don't know.
Well, we were just talking to my parents on FaceTime, and Ron and Carolyn. And they said, we're Rob and Marilyn. There you go.
Paging Dr. Rob and Marilyn.
Yes, exactly. So you can find me on social media, on Instagram, Sandy Patty P. And on Facebook, right here at Sandy Patty. Also, we have a YouTube channel, and our Thomas, our social media guy, guru,
yes,
aficionado, whatever.
Yes.
He posts some old school stuff on there, some new school stuff, and so that's where you can find me all week long on social media. How about you?
Very easy, DONPESLIS, both on Instagram and Facebook. We try to post pretty much every day, so we thank you for all the pokes, likes, nods, comments, all of that.
We love hearing about your life so much.
We do, and we're just so humbled and grateful that you tune in weekly with us. But again, Don Peslis, Facebook, Instagram, and we try to put something out positive for you every day. All right, Cindy, what's next?
Well, we have a cruise coming up. Now, the Sandy and Friends cruise, we had to reschedule that. That was happening in March.
Yes.
And I really appreciate Inspiration for making just a good timeline to make the decision, because nobody was stuck with anything.
Right.
But we are going to be guests on the Love Like You Mean It cruise, which will be right before Valentine's Day, and it's really geared for couples. But Don and I get a really unique opportunity. Not only do we get to do a concert with Jay and Amy, but then you and I are going to lead a session on blended families.
Yes.
And, we've got 27 years now in this blended family. And basically, we just want everybody to not make the same mistakes that we made.
Let me see if I've got
So, Love Like You Mean It. You can just, what are you looking at?
I'm looking for the book over there, because I could show them. We're going to have that on
the blender? Yeah. I don't know where that is.
I know we've got a copy, but anyway, I'm just looking.
Anyway, who knows? I don't know.
It is in my office. But, sorry.
So that is coming up right away, actually, February the 6th through the 13th.
That's right.
And there are a few people that had to reschedule passengers. So it is not full, and if you want to join us, it is not too late.
Tell them where they can find that again, Cindy.
You can go Love Like You Mean It You just Google that and it will show up the cruise, and you can find. I'll post the information later because Thomas can't be on. So that's that. Hey, but I got to give a huge shout out. Can you give me some shout out music?
Ready? Are we ready? Here, let's give it. Okay, ready?
It's a shout out.
It's a shout out to Natalie Grant.
Let's hit her again.
It's a shout out.
Come on. How many of you happened to see her sing the national anthem on ESPN, right?
Yes.
For the what playoff?
It was the college football, Monday night college football championship game,
Between
Georgia
and
versus Alabama. Again, our dogs in Georgia won, but tell them
Natalie crushed the national anthem. It's just kind of like our world needed something to rally around right now.
Yes.
And when she just sang it.
She did.
Some people get a little crazy.
That's right.
With the national anthem, and they don't ever sing the melody. What I loved, she sang the melody the whole way through, but every once in a while she would just woo. It's like I could do those licks if I wanted to, but I'm trying to be respectful.
Crushed
of the
it.
national anthem. I was
Crushed
so
it.
proud of her. So give us some likes and thumbs
It's a
up.
shout out.
Natalie Grant, you crushed it, and it was in Indianapolis.
Yes, it was.
So proud of you. I would not be surprised at all if a certain Natalie Grant gets invited to sing at some of the playoff NFL games.
Come on.
Way to go, Nat. I'm so proud of you, baby girl. So proud of you. What do we have for an almanac this week? First, we have a little song.
It's an almanac moment with Dan.
I just love that. So thank you so much. Thank you so much on our friends in Vegas. Welcome to, it is the 15th day
It is
of
the
the year.
15th day.
All right,
January, it's easy for me to do
Yeah,
that.
that's right. We got 31 days. We've got no problem with it, but it's the 15th day. And January is such a great month. We find ourselves on this Saturday. We had, again, these are Boston. Since 1792, it's been our friend. Almanac sales are up, and we want to thank you guys for tuning in. I love to find out who are weather nerds out there like I am. And I really have to thank Oklahoma for that, because we didn't really in Indiana care where the sun was. But clearly here, if the sun sets on the western sky anywhere on your house,
In
and
the summer,
and it's not protected, you're going to know about it. Anyway, all right.
It's hot, is what he's saying.
Thank you, Oklahoma, for making us weather nerds. Boston time 7:11 was our sunrise this morning. A beautiful 4:37. Actually, that was our sunset a little bit later here, Central Standard Time, about 5:30. A lovely 9 hours and 26 minutes. 10 minutes more. Last week was 9 hours, 16 minutes of sunlight. So days are getting longer as we're moving towards that spring. And then again, the summer equinox.
Very good.
But January's got some fun things to think about it.
What, Dan? Tell us.
You know what? One of the things that's going to happen on Monday, January 17, is known as the full wolf moon. Now, why is it called that, you ask?
Why is it called
Well,
that?
the full moon rises on January 17 at 6:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Traditionally, this full moon is called the full wolf moon because wolves were out howling in the villages outside in Hungary. It's a bright full moon in the winter. It's also been called the old moon. Some of our Native American tribes, this was the snow moon. But most applied that name to the next really full moon in February. January 17, Monday.
Okay.
Your full wolf moon.
I love that.
Since
That's a very fun fact.
1792, this is your...
It's an almanac moment with Dan.
There it is.
I have a tech tip on there. You just need to play it. But I don't have a tech tip tonight.
Oh, you don't?
But just play the song.
Okay, well,
because
It's Tech with Cindy.
Well, I will remind you about this tech tip, actually.
That's good.
And you know it's been a rough season when tech tips are reliant on me. So, but I've learned a lot. The main thing is, if you're talking FaceTime with your family, make sure you hold your camera like we have it. It's away from us right now. A lot of times we have a tendency, because we want to see our kids up close like this, you know, which is great for us. But on the other end, they are seeing our nose hair. So that's not good. It's not good for anybody. Nobody wants that. So that's my tech tip. And while you're on FaceTime, or Google Duo, it works the same.
Yes.
You can tap the screen just gently. A white circle comes up.
Okay.
We just did it with our baby, our
We did.
newest
We did.
grandbaby,
We did.
Chloe.
We did.
A white circle comes up. You tap that, and it will take a picture of you. Like you won't be sitting there in the top of the screen.
No. Right.
It'll just take a picture. We've got these sweet little pictures of our brand new baby.
Here it is.
Chloe. So there it is.
It's dancing with Cindy.
Come
That's
on
it.
with that.
Gotta love it.
All
All right.
right.
What do we got?
Well, listen, you had a great Canito blog this week. And if you haven't followed, you had some great, like a lot of people found it this week.
Yeah, this was a big week. This was the biggest week ever.
Thank you all. Good. Just recap us a little bit
Well,
on
again,
that.
remember, Canito is our lovely friends. So starting this brand new organization really to help you live well across all seasons of life. Canito, which is the intersection of wisdom and hope.com. Canito.com. Well, if you've wondered, I think maybe I had it. I'm not sure if I had it. Our friends at WebMD have given us about 10 handles to know practical handles if you've had COVID-19 or not. And to be honest, I'll tell you, over this past Christmas season, with all the different variants, it talks about the new variant, the Omicron. Now, Delta is a little tougher, but the Omicron, 3 times as contagious, but not quite as bad or deadly, if you will say that.
Yeah, the symptoms are
not quite.
much
More flu-like,
gentle.
more bronchitis-like. But one of the things, and you'll have to go again to Canizzo.com and look up the blog, 80% of folks, if you go, I lost my smell or the taste of food.
Yeah.
If you've lost that for any amount of time in this
Good
past year,
chance.
you thought you had a cold. I'm burping too, excuse me.
You are.
Pardon me for that. Maybe.
We had Mexican food.
Yes, we did. It was a lovely lunch.
That was my fave.
I love it. But if you thought, and this cold lasted longer than the traditional colds in the winter, 2 to 3 days. If you've gone 2 weeks, 3 weeks, slight fever or chills, 80% of COVID folks lost smell or taste. You had COVID-19.
Yeah.
So check out the blog. Again, it comes to us from our friends at WebMD, but really gives you some practical handles. If I had it, these are some of the symptoms. Watery eyes, all kinds of things you wouldn't necessarily think of.
Right.
But let us know that we've had this, maybe the Omicron variant.
Perhaps.
And again, that's where the mutation of the original virus comes to us. And the flu has done this.
Mm-hmm.
But COVID-19, I think we're on what is known as the Omicron variant. And maybe pretty soon we need to have our good friend, Dr. Andy, back on.
Have Dr. Andy.
You know what? Still, your mom was right. Wash your hands often.
Yep.
Use that hand sanitizer. We're wearing our masks again in public, crowded places.
Mm-hmm.
Many things are kind of taken as the surge. We've had the highest numbers in COVID since they began keeping track these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
So be careful. Wear your mask. Socially distance a little bit. Be smart. Wash your hands. And stay well.
Yeah. Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Canizzo, thank you
Canizzo.
so much.
Well,
tomorrow, Crossings, as always, we want to invite you to
Yes.
join us. If you're in Oklahoma City, we are holding services. I get to lead a little bit in the chapel in the
Yes.
morning at 8:30.
Yes.
And I hadn't planned to talk about this, but I'm going to. I'm going to sing a song that's, let's see, what's the copyright? 1986.
wow.
1986.
Wow.
That was the year Anna was born. No,
Wow.
she was born 84.
84.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that. I just said it. I'm singing There Is a Savior. And I had completely forgotten until you pulled up the music that I was part of the writing team.
Greg Nelson,
for
Bob
this.
Farrell, and
And I think as I was kind of going over it and we're thinking about it from the morning, I think on the verse I had some input on the the melody and stuff.
Yes.
So it's fun to see that I actually wrote a song. That's tomorrow in the chapel, and then in the sanctuary you can join us live at 9:30 or 11.
Yes.
You can also join us online at 9:30 and 11 at crossings.church/info. Now, when you join us, go ahead and take just a minute, if you would, and sign in. Nobody is going to stalk you and send you stuff, I promise.
right.
But it just lets us know where people are tuning in from. And unless you sign in, we don't know that. Also, we have online pastors that are there. Should you
Dedicated
find yourself needing sort of an online community. Also, if you do that, sign in the comments, tell them that Dan and Cindy sent you. Because it really throws our staff for a loop.
Is that kind of a shout out?
It's a shout out.
It's a shout out.
Let them know.
Tell
Again.
them Dan and Cindy sent you. They call it now at Around Crossings the Dan and Cindy factor. Because when y'all first started watching online and say Dan and Cindy, at one meeting,
Yes.
someone just said, does anyone know who Dan and Cindy are? And so anyway, it's fun. It makes us look good in front of our bosses. And
But again,
all that.
everything you need to know, crossings.church/info. Again, tomorrow morning, 9:30. These are Central Times. And 11,
And
both.
11.
And she'll be, again, in the sanctuary. But you know what?
I will be. I'll be in the sanctuary in one of the songs that we're singing.
tell 'em.
And then I want to talk about what Marty's going to be sharing.
Yes.
One of the songs that we're singing that really just hit me this week. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise and pour out our praise. And I just think tomorrow, we talked about this as a vocal team this week. We are praying it over everyone who has COVID right now. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. So we're going to get to sing that tomorrow. And that just has taken on special meaning during this season. Our pastor, Marty Grubbs, who we just adore, is doing a sermon series right now called How Do You Do the Next Right Thing?
It's actually
right,
the next
right thing.
Exactly, yes.
I love that phrase. I got to travel with Women of Faith for the last 10 years of the Women of Faith season. And Steve Arterburn, who was the original founder of Women of Faith, he was part of Steve Arterburn, myself, and Marilyn Meeberg did sort of a pre-conference. Okay. And one of the things, I've never heard anyone say this before, when you don't know what to do, just do the next right thing. That really just kind of blew me away. And it has stuck with me all this time. I tell these young women that I get an opportunity to mentor through life, you know what, just do the next right thing. If you are a grandparent or a parent and you've seen Frozen 2, there's now a song in Frozen 2 called The Next Right Thing. I don't know what came first, Steve Arterburn or Frozen. I don't know. But it's a great, great concept, and Marty's going to unpack that with us over the next few weeks. And I've been reminded of a story of my dear friend Patsy Clairmont, who I think has one of the best examples of what doing the next right thing looks like. She shares often, and she shares in her book, she shared at Women of Faith, and a number of years ago she spoke at Crossings. And she shares very candidly, she was a teenage bride. She was an under 20-year-old mom. She was a military wife. She was often left at home alone. And she became agoraphobic. She could not only could she not get out of the house, she could not get out of her room. She could not get out of her bed. That's one place she found books. Someone just started bringing her books, which is, I think, is awesome. When you don't know what to do, you can take someone a book. But she'd read these books and she began to pray, God, I want to do great things for you. And she reminds us, while she has the covers tucked up under her chin and not getting out of the bed, God, I want to do great things for you. I want to do big things for you. And she said, it's like the Lord just pressed on her spirit, then make the bed. And she tells it so cute. She says, and so I said back to him, both sides. And she said it was like the Lord just said to her, well, just start with one side. And then you can do the other side. And then so every weekend, as she would bound up onto that stage, I would always think, this is that woman who just did the next right thing. And now she is changing the world with her words. And so I say that to you as a reminder to all of us that the next right thing might not be anywhere near what we think we're praying for.
That's good.
It may just be, and that's where routine, when I found routine during COVID, I kind of had a prescription for myself of several next right things. Get up, get dressed, have coffee, do devotion, take a walk. And by then, my mind became engaged and my senses became engaged, that I knew a little bit more the bigger picture. So I challenge you this week to just do the next right thing. Yeah. Whatever that may be, it may be as simple as getting up. It may be as simple as walking to the mailbox and back. Whatever it is, pray for someone that God has put on your mind. You just never know, but whatever it is, do the next right thing. And our pastor is going to really be unpacking that the next several weeks.
That's really good. You know, and sometimes, which you've mentioned this, Cindy, I should say, but Sandy, in this important moment, sometimes doing the next right thing, you've said this, may not have anything to do with your ultimate,
what you think you're praying
for.
Like
Patsy, who ended up changing, impacting, if you will, so many thousands of lives over that 20-year span.
Yeah.
But to begin by making the bed.
Yeah.
Starting there. Yeah. So if you feel yourself stuck and in that place, just know that Sandy and I are just going to be praying for you and thinking about you this week, that we can all do that next right thing. Well, you know, Monday also, Pastor Marty's going to talk about this tomorrow. We celebrate the birthday, and it's really Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday observance. Since 1986, the third Monday in January, it's been a federal holiday in observance of the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr. He was a Baptist minister. About 3 or 4 years ago, we actually, Sandy sang, and I was privileged to be with her.
I got to sing How Great Thou Art at Ebenezer Baptist Church.
His pastorate in Atlanta. And it was the Dr. Martin Luther King Day observance.
Yes.
Powerful. Something
powerful.
I'll remember as long as I live. Nobel Peace Prize winner, civil rights leader. He dedicated his life and his work to non-violence. So, in keeping with the theme at Crossings Church, I love his quote that says this: "The time is always right to do the right thing."
Oh, that's good.
Let me say that again. The time is always right to do the right thing. That's Dr. Martin Luther King. And so, on Monday, we've worked back in Anderson. We celebrated it with Jodine Washington, Anderson Community Schools. It was always a day on, not a day off.
That's good.
And a day to put our service into the community, into action, to keep the dream alive. So however you can celebrate that, be a part of that day Monday. And remember, it's always the right time.
It's always the right time to do the right thing. That's good.
Well, tomorrow, tune in with us. We're just about now down to the end of the show. It's gone quickly tonight. But again, remember, crossings.church tomorrow, 9:30 Central and 11. Sandy will be leading in the sanctuary.
Yes. Now, we know this might be a change for many of you. But because the winter is upon us, and the evenings are getting, the sun goes down so early, we are going to start coming to you at 6:30 Central Time.
That'll be 7:30 Eastern. That'll be 8:30 in Brazil. Back in Cali, that'll be 4:30 Pacific Time. And still in Australia, it'll be
tomorrow.
All right, let's say it again. 6:30 Central. 7:30 Eastern, 8:30 Brazil. Back in the Pacific, 4:30, because it was 5:30, it's 4:30 Central, but still in Australia.
It's still tomorrow.
Well, let's end up, and I've got we'll say a lovely prayer, but you know what, don't worry. This is a little bit of Sandy Patty trivia. One of our favorite is the Peanuts comic strip. And Charles Schultz said this: don't worry about the world ending today, because it's already tomorrow in
Australia.
That's it.
What? He said that.
You got to look it up. Charlie Brown or Linus, they had roller skates on. They're both laying down, and they said, I think Lucy came by and said, "What happened?" And he said, Sandy Patty hit a high note.
I was in the
Peanuts comic strip
of Peanuts. And you know what was super sweet? And I'm just going to throw this out.
Go ahead.
It was right at the beginning of my divorce.
So sweet.
And I feel like across the miles from California, because he was living in California, he was just sending love that way to me. And I remember opening the newspaper or somebody, and there it was. It was like he had his Walkman, and
he's
Sandy
down
hit a high note. Oh, that's so sweet.
So
I thought we could find that online somewhere.
We could. But in honor of Dr. King on Monday. So look that up, and you'll find that Charles Schultz Peanuts comic strip, Sandy Patty and the High Note. But I thought I'd read a little bit of an excerpt for our prayer tonight from Dr. King's famous speech. It was on August 28, 1963. Now, a little bit of trivia for President Bush's second inaugural. This gal right there sang, and it was really a privilege for us both to be there. I'll never forget that on the Lincoln steps, the Lincoln Memorial. But he said this to close out: I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. He also said in that my children will grow up and live in a country someday where they will be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
That's a good word.
It's a good word.
That is indeed.
Dr. King lived out in such a great way, and his legacy still lives on. Keep the dream of that alive on Monday. And again, thank you for joining us. Remember, next week we'll say 6:30
Central,
7:30
Eastern,
Eastern, 8:30 Brazil, Pacific, 4:30 Pacific time, but still in Australia
tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Have
Bye,
a great
everybody.
week.
Have a great week. See you next week.